A major development for one northwest suburb. Brooklyn Center residents are now under a new health emergency due to a rise in COVID-19 cases. The City Council unanimously approved the emergency order on Monday night. It takes effect immediately. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us what this means for Brooklyn Center residents and visitors.
You're going to have to wear one of these if you want to enter any Brooklyn Center public-owned buildings. Now, this applies to anyone 2 years old or older. Mayor Mike Elliott says COVID-19 cases are on the rise in the county, and he's worried about the safety of residents.
It's incredibly important because we're seeing cases start to surge up. The COVID-19 Delta variant is driving up the number of new COVID-19 cases.
The move comes as the Minnesota Department of Health reported more than 1,600 new COVID cases on Tuesday. Mayor Elliott says Brooklyn Center has been consistently at the top in the county when it comes to COVID case rates.
We know that communities that have high populations of communities of color see the highest rates of COVID-19 as well. And so we really do have to take common sense measures.
The pandemic policy also includes schools. However, some are wondering if the City Council has the authority to issue a mask mandate for schools.
I can't think of a more important setting to ensure that we're masking than in schools where, you have teachers and you have students in very close proximity to each other.
Elliott says the policy will allow the city to put in place an emergency response plan so they can coordinate with other cities if necessary.
It also frees us up to be able to, do things like offer up masks to the community and put other resources to bear.
Meanwhile, city officials hope the health declaration will have a positive impact and stop the spread of COVID-19.
It's just really important that we're continuing to take steps to protect the health and safety of Brooklyn Center residents and visitors.
In Brooklyn Center, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Do you know where your property lines are? That question has become a big issue in the city of Brooklyn Park. According to Brooklyn Park city officials, there are numerous violations of homeowners using or building onto city-owned parkland. Some issues date back decades. This map shows all of the violations, with the most serious being pools, sheds, or hockey rinks built on park property. At Edinburgh USA Golf Course, the city plans to install irrigation lines and found issues of encroachment involving neighboring homes. The question now is what to do about it. The city plans to take a deep dive and come up with a plan of action for homes throughout the city.
It's not okay. The city's going to come and get you. At some point or another, someone's going to figure this out, right? Whether it's a huge boat sitting in parkland or somebody's hockey rink or whatever, at some point it's not your land. So you can't just use it however you want.
The city currently works on a complaint basis to solve encroachment issues, taking in about 3 to 4 complaints a year. A major road construction project that connects Robbinsdale to Minneapolis is progressing as planned. Construction on the West Broadway Avenue bridges began in April. Since then, crews demolished one bridge and shifted all traffic onto another bridge. They've also completed foundation work for both the northbound and southbound bridges. The focus is now on building the supporting structures, which include piers and abutments. Experts say these are the elements that take the most time to build.
Not having as much rain allows us to get progress a little bit farther, and we're kind of looking forward to keeping that momentum here through the fall to get this stage closed out.
Work on the new bridge should be finished later this year. Crews will then demolish the old bridge and shift traffic onto the newly built structure. People who drive down Highway 55 in Golden Valley, be ready for a closure this weekend. Highway 55 will be closed between Highway 169 and Highway 100 starting at 10 p.m. on Friday through Monday morning. MnDOT crews will be resurfacing the road, expanding the size of medians, and enhancing accessibility at intersections. The city will also be starting work on a trail between Winnetka and Glenwood Avenues. Football season is right around the corner, and there's a relatively new pizza place in Brooklyn Park that's hoping to be a go-to spot for people looking for food to enjoy during the big game. In this week's edition of Takeout Tuesday, Delane Cleveland introduces us to Johnny Boy's Pizza.
We'll get slammed with a few orders right when we open.
There's a lot in this world that divides us.
So I'll grab a bunch of our doughs here.
But Johnny Muhana is in the business of bringing people together.
And that's where it all starts.
And few things in this world can unite people quite like the taste of good pizza.
And that's all it takes. How can you not have fun doing that?
Muhana is the owner of Johnny Boy's Pizza, which opened in a Brooklyn Park strip mall near 85th and West Broadway in October of 2019. The restaurant is the fulfillment of a lifelong dream.
My first job ever was in a pizza shop, and who doesn't love pizza? So I've always wanted to kind of go back to those roots a little bit.
Johnny Boy's sells a number of specialty pizzas that people know and love. But one of the things that sets Johnny Boy's apart,
Garlic chicken pizza, our second best seller, I would say,
is their emphasis on toppings featuring our feathered friends.
We basically have a whole lineup of chicken tender pizzas, so we took anything that you would dip a chicken tender in, kind of built a pizza around it.
In the nearly 2 years since they opened, they've had to shut down their dining room and deal with supply shortages due to the pandemic. But not even that has prevented Johnny Boy's from taking flight.
It's fun to come to work every day. Like, what's not fun about throwing some toppings on a pizza and people like it?
This longtime Seattle Seahawks fan always wanted to combine his love of football with his love of food.
My two favorite things in life, and kind of went together.
Now, with football season approaching, Muhana hopes people will think of Johnny Boy's on game day.
Pizza is kind of like the perfect food for sports.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Johnny Boy's is planning to open a second location in a downtown Minneapolis commissary kitchen that will serve customers through online orders. We'll be right back.